Hey, this is Her Voice Unfiltered, where the words don't ask for permission, they just arrive. I'm Michonne, poet, healer, storyteller, and this right here, this is where we feel it before we fix it. So, let's put some feeling to these words. This is episode 20, a milestone for me. Today, the calendar gives us 2 reasons to pause: Juneteenth and Father's Day. At first, I wasn't sure if they belonged in the same conversation. One commemorates freedom, the other celebrates fatherhood. They seem like 2 separate stories, right? But the more I sat with it, the more I realized they're asking us the very same question. What has been passed down to us, and what will we pass on? So, let's get into it. Juneteenth reminds us that freedom is never free. It was prayed for, fought for, delayed, protected, and carried forth by generations who believe their children deserve something better than what they inherited. Fatherhood, at its best, is very much the same. Not because every father is perfect, but because the greatest fathers understand they're not simply raising children, they're shaping generations. Some leave money, some leave memories, some leave scars, and some leave character. Today, I want to talk about both, because freedom isn't only something we receive, it's something we choose. And inheritance isn't only something we're given, it's something we become. So tonight, take a deep breath. Think about the people who came before you. Think about the sacrifices you'll never fully know. Think about the lessons you're still discovering. And ask yourself, what am I carrying that didn't start with me? Our first piece is simply called freedom. Freedom. Such a simple word until you realize how expensive it's always been. Some people hear freedom and think of flags, parades, history books. I hear footsteps, tired feet walking toward a promise they hadn't seen yet, hands that pick cotton but still folded in prayer. Mothers who whispered hope into babies while the world tried to convince them they belonged to someone else. I hear people who keep dreaming even when dreaming was dangerous, because freedom has never been about permission. It's always been about possibility. Juneteenth didn't create freedom. It announced what God had already intended, because no person was ever created to own another. No soul was ever designed to live in chains. Not then, not now. But if we're honest, chains didn't disappear. They changed clothes. Sometimes they look like fear. Sometimes they look like addiction. Sometimes they sound like you'll never be enough. Sometimes they hide inside generational pain, passed down like an unwanted inheritance. Sometimes the prison has no bars at all, just old stories we keep believing. Freedom isn't only walking away from what held you captive. It's refusing to carry it into the next generation. It's forgiving without forgetting your worth. It's setting boundaries without apologizing for protection and for protecting your peace. It's choosing healing when bitterness could have been easier. It's looking into the mirror and finally saying, I don't have to become what hurt me. Maybe that's why Juneteenth still matters. Because freedom isn't a moment. It's a responsibility. Every generation must decide what they're willing to release so the next generation can breathe easier. My ancestors fought for the freedom to stand. I owe them the courage to live fully, to live boldly, to speak truth, to build, to create, to heal, to vote, to dream, to become. Because freedom isn't honoring the past if it never changes the present. So today I remember those who carried hope long before they carried recognition. I honor those who survived what history could never fully write. And I thank God that freedom was always bigger than chains. It has always been about the human spirit refusing to surrender its God-given dignity. So today, I stand because they stood. I speak because they endured. I dream because they believed. And I promise to leave this world a little freer than I found it. Because freedom was never meant to stop with me. Freedom has many definitions. Sometimes it looks like chains falling. Sometimes it looks like a woman finally choosing peace. Sometimes it looks like forgiveness. Sometimes it looks like boundaries. And sometimes freedom looks like becoming the person your ancestors prayed would exist. And once we're free, we have to decide what we're going to leave behind, not just in our wills, but in our words, our choices, our integrity, because the richest inheritance isn't always something you can touch. Sometimes it's the character someone planted inside you. This next piece is dedicated to my father, Rodney Fabio Jr., often called Doc, often called Unc, often called Rod. This piece is called Inheritance. People ask me if my daddy left me anything. I usually smiled politely because they were asking about money, about property, about things, but they were asking the wrong question. My father left me something that doesn't fit inside a safe deposit box. He left me integrity when no one is watching. He left me kindness that doesn't expect applause. He left me discipline that shows up before motivation ever does. He left me the understanding that your word should cost you something. He left me the courage to leave rooms that no longer honored my peace. He left me the strength to begin again without announcing how broken I was. People think inheritance is measured in dollars. Mine is measured in decisions. Every time I choose honesty, I spend part of what he left me. Every time I choose compassion, I'm withdrawing from an account he opened decades ago. Every time I stand back up after life knocks me down, I'm living off interest he invested long before I knew what it would cost to become a woman. My daddy didn't leave me rich. He left me equipped. And somehow, that's worth so much more. If today's episode leaves you with anything, I hope it's this. Freedom is a gift. Character is a legacy. One is fought for, and the other is lived. As we celebrate Juneteenth, may we honor those whose courage made room for us. And as we celebrate Father's Day, may we remember the men who showed us what strength, love, sacrifice, and integrity could look like. And if your story includes loss, like mine, or complicated relationships, like mine, or fathers who weren't able to give what you needed, I pray you find healing. Because legacy isn't only what we receive, it's also what we choose to create. So, wherever you are today, live in freedom, lead with character, love generously, and leave behind something that money could never buy. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and keep telling your story. I'm Michonne, and this has been Her Voice Unfiltered. Therapy complete.